installed himself as just a staple player in South America. And we've got the, all right, that's right, yeah, we've got the Queen Nai and the Bryn coming through here against the Orion and Hattori from Power and Wess. Really excited to see these two go head-to-head here. Loser of this is eliminated at 5th. So really high stakes here coming from both teams.
And we see 4 spears coming out. Every single character on screen doesn't necessarily have a spear in their hand. I mean, 2 of them do, but overall we have 4 spear legends on the screen. D-Sig from Use, he's been using that a lot to clean up stocks. He's been using it to great effect so far in this tournament.
Yeah, that's how you know that this is Fiend's region, right? Went from being the only spear player to everybody is a spear player here in South America. The first knockout goes over to the red team. Power goes down. Wess tries to hit back. The neutral sig does some friendly fire there, but nothing that's going to be too damaging just yet. And that side air could be an edge guard for Wess. Wess really tried to get that alley-oop. Didn't get the timing right. Goes down instead, and now it's 6 stocks to 4.
Use coming in. Now we have double spears coming out from Fiend and Use. We have a spear from Wess as well. You know what's in his hand, not by looking at it, but you can actually tell by listening because you're going to hear the down signature, and that's a good signifier that he has spear in his hand. Fiend in sweat beads, but is able to touch and reset those jumps. We did see Fiend fall from wall slip previously.
I think Fiend just exchanged 3 jumps for recoveries right there with how many spear recoveries that I just heard there. We don't talk about it too much, but maybe it's little known, you can use multiple recoveries instead of jumping. And that is sometimes a very good thing to do depending on how good your exhausted recovery is on certain moves. Like blasters can be pretty good at recovering from the side of the stage. But with the spear recovery there, even though it's exhausted in terms of the distance that you get, it's still pretty good when it hits your opponent.
It's still going to be a move that hits above you and hits on both sides of you.
And it hits pretty
more
hard.
than like a Nair would.
Yeah, I think it hits harder than Gauntlet's Neutralite, honestly, now that I think about it.
Well, I mean, virtually anything hits harder than Gauntlet Neutralite now.
That's true. Back into this game, Power holding on to the second stock for a long time, but just stands by and watches as Wess gets double Neutralite recovered, and I'm pretty surprised Power didn't jump into the fray a little bit sooner to interrupt that attack there. As Fiend and Use, looking at the state of Power's health, was just kind of like, wait, we can ignore you and you will just accidentally get clipped by something, and that will be your stock. We can focus on your teammate. And Power, so worried about his own stock there, I really think gave up the momentum in this game 1.
He really wasn't doing very much. He was playing extremely defensive, and that's always been the case in 2v2, is like you can't really play defensive because a smart opponent is going to say, yeah, dude, go ahead. Hang out over there on that side of the stage. We're going to 2v1. We're going to man advantage your teammate, and it's actually going to be in our favor. Use is going to fall there, put on final stocks. Fiend in the 1v2 over on the edge. The down air not immediately going to KO, but it does eventually KO as Fiend doesn't have enough in-air movement economy to get back. I was a little bit surprised
that Fiend didn't just Qatar dare right at the bottom of the stage, just try to get back to the stage sooner, but still gets there. Ends up picking up a spear. Weapon throw into pickup means that Use has a little bit of the pressure taken off of him. Falls into that Nair, and Fiend with that diagonal chase dodge off of the sidelight repositions pretty quickly, and Use has been doing a good job covering when Fiend gets hit and vice versa. Team combo, D-Light side air, and oh, look at that. We got to see a little bit of a DI there.
You saw Fiend end up going up, and you saw Use end up going to the left. Nice split there, but that team combo likely, like it straight up did. It straight up gave them the game because they picked up both members, added up the damage, even the damage up, and then took it past, and then all of a sudden blue team had the lead just like that.
That is a tough loss for Fiend and Use.
Look at the top right, Tazza.
Up to this moment, I gave the game into Fiend and Use's favor. We said the daylight side are good there. They cover the landings there, and Wess and Power very good at following up of each other's combo starters there. Daylight side air, and then he waits out for the dodge and gets the recovery. That was the most Gauntlets-looking spear combo I've ever seen. But you know what I'm talking about. Sideline into wait recovery.
Turnaround recovery,
yeah, you wait for the dodge, and I'm like, what? Only on Apocalypse is he going to think about that. But yeah, look at the graph there. The entire time, Fiend and Use completely miles ahead of where Wess and Power are with the damage that they're taking. And then at the very end, Wess and Power just never took damage again. That was really, really well played in terms of the adjustment there, because in stock number 2, despite how long Power survived, I was heavily criticizing the fact that he wasn't getting into the fray and helping Wess out, but they managed to bring it back and get the win.
And you can see the influence that Spear has in this region. Every single player did more damage on their Spear compared to every other weapon in the game.
Was that the case for Yuz? Because Yuz looks like he's got a completely new outlook on this matchup here.
Yeah, he is completely swapping off of that. The damage numbers was 407 on the Spear to 145 on the Axe, but now he's going over to Jae-Yun, going to share none of those weapons, go for the bold greatsword pick and two, something we very, very, very rarely see.
Yeah, I have not really seen this have too much success. I think the North American region would be the first one I would go to look for somebody who's like, oh, right, I have my greatsword 2's combos really prepared. But here in Game 2, Wess Power versus Fiend and Yuz, I'm curious how that's going to play out. D-Light and Decider gets interrupted by Fiend, and that side stick does catch Power, but he still survives. I am massively impressed that Yuz not only managed to survive that long, but get the first knockout as well. Great down air onto the recovery, and Fiend and Yuz take the lead in Game 2 once again.
There's the recovery that comes out. Going to swap over onto the sword. Goes for the little 3-piece 2v1 combo, ending in the signature. That's going to give a nice little damage addition if that would have hit. But Yuz knew that that stock was pretty much winding down. Now he's coming back onto the greatsword here right away, and he opened it up with a 2-piece.
Did Fiend like fly into a light attack and then his knockback just stopped completely? I was like, oh, yeah, okay. That down stick somehow doesn't hit. Fiend, can he make it back? He can. Surviving for so long. Any hit he gets here would be miraculous. Okay, Cider comes through, Yuz lands with a down air and just gets the heck out of there. Using those recoveries to dodge out of those weapon throws from Wess and Power. Waiting for Fiend to get a weapon. Perfect spawn comes through and the sword's picked up. Neutral Light comes through and that's unfortunate.
That could have been really bad for the blue team. They are thinking they're lucky stars they didn't get caught in that combo. I'm a little bit surprised that signature didn't reach over the corner and end up making contact with Power, but Yuz must have been far enough back that there wasn't a technical line of sight.
I do feel like I'm interested in the damage numbers after this because I feel like Yuz has been using the greatsword just to like fly around the stage with the recovery more than hit them, but Power goes down for that neutral sig, and I might be just completely wrong on that case. Wess opens up the down stick, accidentally hits Power for picking up a weapon. And if Wess goes down here, that's 4 stocks to 2. This is a much harder comeback to make possible from game number 1.
Yeah, Fiend and Yuz are doing a great job bringing this one back. Oh, beautiful. He went for the D-Light, and then he got around behind, fast falling down to the ground, and then throwing out the side light onto Power after Yuz didn't find the follow-up.
Oh, the pogos on the Fiend are fantastic. Yuz was trying to go down for the save, and the pressure from Wess was just too high. Down to catches him with one of the laser beams. Can he make it back down to the ground? He does end up getting hit by that spear, which was still active. Weapon spawn goes over to Fiend. Power waiting for a spawn in. They want to take down Yuz here, at least bring it to an even stock scenario, but Power so damaged already. Let's see. Oh, this is a difficult game to go through. Okay, Yuz goes down. Fiend very good at not getting caught in situations like this, especially with the spear. The Nair basically covers his head completely, but he has no jumps. Landing covered by Power with a neutral light, but that's about as much as he can do right now.
Yeah, now, okay, I was about to say...
Is that the neutral light finisher from his combo on Wess that hit Power?
It seemed like it was. We're going to have to see the replay on that. I was wondering what Power was going to do given that he was getting towards the end of his stock. Was he going to play defensive and just kind of hang out all by himself like he did before, which wasn't successful? He tried to go in, ended up getting taken out. Wess, here in the 1v2, he's not in a terrible spot
I wonder
damage-wise.
how this must, like... Because Fiend is experienced playing with Wess and against Wess. This has got to be very stressful. He knows how explosive Wess is as a 1v2 player here, and they just got to really make sure that they can control his aggression. Neutral Light finally knocks that lance out of his hands. It's going to be much harder for him to get a weapon here. I lie. I stand corrected. He gets right through punches, gets that down signature. That could have been the alley-oop, but Fiend doesn't let the Sair rip, and now Wess makes it back to the stage, clashes, and the neutral sig will catch him trying to retreat to the platform. Well played by Yuz there onto the Jae-Yun swap, and we get out of that 3-0 curse that we've been experiencing so far as we're further along the bracket. This is the matchup that I would really like to see go the distance.
So you were wondering about those damage numbers from Yuz's Jae-Yun pick, and it was about even right down the middle. It was 261 on the greatsword to 226 on sword, though the KO options were definitely on the sword, specifically the neutral signature.
I totally missed the... if it was the neutral light finisher or not, because I look at the stats.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure it was on the replays there. I'm pretty sure that was the case. As we look at these damage numbers over here, we can see that Fiend and Yuz did not give up the lead this time around. And that's why after that game 1, despite Wess and Power Ranger really clutching that and making that comeback, I am not too surprised that the result of that game 2 went over in favor of Fiend and Yuz, even with the swap over for the Legends because Fiend is no longer on the Nai, is on the Hattori, but Fiend is very much like a player who I feel like has 3 characters that he plays really, really well. And then there was the Sentinel pick in singles. but like, so it's like when I see Fiend on Hattori or Queen Nai, it might as well just be like same player, same game, just going for different stats and different side weapon.
Now, he started off taking a lot more punishment than we're used to seeing Fiend take early on. The spot dodge means he doesn't go into that neutral signature that Wess ended up chase dodging through, turning around. Neutral light, sending Fiend almost off screen, but not going to be the stock yet. The blue team is looking really good starting this one off, largely due to the fact that Power is still in the yellow, despite also being the same defense as Fiend.
Oh, he jumps right over Power,
So
gets
sick.
the side stick, gets the knockout there. And that's a risky move to go for in doubles because it's like you have to like go through the whole animation of summoning a boulder and cutting it in half. Like you are really making sure that your teammate's covering you when you connect with that, and he does. Power still on 3 stocks, like you said, the least damaged person on the screen and also the only one with 3 stocks. Great team combo. D-Light Slider, double recovery into Nair means that Fiend is sweating to get back to the stage.
Again, using that
So
neutral
good.
signature to KO. I feel like we don't. How often do we see that, Tazza?
Not often at all. And it's
Okay.
one of those moves where I'm like, it's sort of like Queen 9 neutral sig-esque, where it's like, this is something that you can replace your bread and butter like follow-up with and use instead. But from Jaehyun, not too much. And Yuz isn't even using it as like a follow-up. Oh my god. This whole time I was talking about it, Yuz just got batted left and right.
Oh, and
D-Light
he's still
side
getting
air.
hit.
Oh, and Fiend. Oh no, Fiend has nothing.
Oh, and Wess.
Yuz has to save him.
Are they going to be able to punish this landing? You're seeing the sweat beats. He's done. He's not
Oh,
done.
he's not done. Gets
No
recovered,
way.
gets nared. Fiend still, finally, after like 30 seconds, touches the ground just to get pogoed off again. Wess falls to the Sair on one side, looks for the Sair, the dare on the Fiend. I can't believe the red team is surviving as long as they are, but that downlight sider will finally take out Fiend's second stock. And Yuz gets clipped by the down sig, trying to fade away from Power. And now Wess is dominating here in game number 3.
Now we've also seen the turnaround from the blue team as well, not just having the lead here, but it's Power Ranger who is the more damage on this team, and Wess, who is still in the yellow on second stock. It's not like Power is that far behind to where it's a detriment to the team. That's just how far ahead Wess is compared to everyone else. Power Ranger's going to fall there. This is huge. They absolutely needed that clutch moment to keep themselves in that, capitalizing on that 2v1, the man advantage to bring themselves back into it. But Fiend, taking a lot of punishment, is in the orange.
All right, recovery coming out from Yuz there, taking up some damage. Fiend gets sent off the right side of the stage. Oh, and that Sair comes through. Yuz, you have to go out there for Fiend. Okay, the dodge comes through. Fiend tries to turn around with a double dare on a Power. He recovers underneath the stage, and Yuz single-handedly holding both Power and Wess at bay, but
Well.
only for so long. He was doing it. It was just...
Towards the end of it, he started holding them at bay by, like, getting hit. Well, he's just getting beat up over there. He's like, oh, are you recovering back, Fiend? I'm doing my best over here. As he gets punched in the face, burned by a lance, stabbed with a spear.
And then ultimately tossed off the top of the stage and lost that stock. Yeah, we can see right here. Yep, that was literally what was
I
happening.
got him. Don't worry, Fiend. I got him.
That was tough. And then he just lands with the Sair, and that's it. Wess finishing up a sidelight side air. There in a way that's kind of like the way that players have been playing with Lance and doubles is very reminiscent to me of old Axe sidelight Sair, where it's like, yeah, it's not true, but also, I mean, I guess it was true.
It was true, like, positionally where it picked
Yeah,
up.
yeah, it's a really tight dodge window. You can't jump out of it, and honestly, it's just
That was always a
really
guess
strong.
for
Holy
the
cow.
player using it.
Look
yeah,
at what Wess did on the second
Look
stock.
how flat that is. That is major extended periods of time where Wess is taking no damage
I think
whatsoever.
he came in and then took all 3 of those stocks right away out of the graph. So we can see, like, right here the moment. I don't have, like, if I had a ruler, I might be able to prove this. But I know that there was a point in time where after he got a double knockout, it said it was dominating. So really well played by Wess. And then Power and Wess both just did not get damaged towards the end of that game as they finished up the stocks from Fiend
It's
and Yuz.
probably, it's either Wess taking this stock or this stock, and then taking both of these in order to be dominating while he's on that second stock.
Yeah,
probably
really well
this
played.
one.
We now have a situation where, I thought Fiend and Yuz would switch something up, but I think that the Jaehyun and Hattori have been the best against these two so far.
Yes.
Wess and Power, though, made a very strong argument for a 3-1. Let's see what Fiend and Yuz are able to do here. I think there was some unfortunate happenings there towards the center of the game where Power and Wess were able to just get like 2 combos onto Use and Fiend individually that brought them into orange, that if Fiend and Use can deal with a little bit better this time around, we could see ourselves into a game 5. Let's find out though. Fiend has taken a ton of damage and he just got sared.
Weapon toss goes out. There's the neutral signature from Use onto Power. That moved Power away so that Fiend could recover back to the main platform.
He's making sure not to abuse it to where it's still being surprising, but I just want to see it more, honestly. He hasn't really missed the move. Goes for the burn neutral light. Oh, and he gets the dare. That was such a great turnaround dare.
And that's tough because it's like you sent Wess over there, so if that never happened, then he doesn't end up getting hit
You
there.
don't think about those things.
It's this like weird timeline paradox situation.
That's like some what-if-isms there that you don't really want to think about. It's just like you used the position that you were at to the best of your advantage.
Of course.
Down comes through and everybody goes flying. A save for Wess, who has picked up a spear, starved them of that weapon there with that lance, and looks for a side on the Fiend right away. Fiend just wants a downlight recovery. Oh, he drifts.
No!
He drifts out of fear of getting hit by Power and drifts so hard that Wess drops out of the combo. But his sword neutral light from Use will take that stock, and now they have a team combo opportunity here on the Power.
That's where those overcorrections can be so heartbreaking, but it didn't shake the red team. Use came in, hit that neutral light. Was able to clean that one up. A lot of swords on the screen. We went from everybody having a spear to 3 of the legends on the screen having a sword.
Yeah, and then the great sword as well. So really just tons of blades flying around. And we're even being able to hear that side that hits Fiend. That's not too much damage, but it is unfortunate. Dare gets the landing hitbox, and Power just barely misses the neutral sig. I think he makes it back. No, he doesn't. And Use, without a weapon, could go down pretty quickly here if he's not careful. All the weapons being thrown off the stage by Use, making sure that they're unarmed as long as possible. Stuff recovery means that Fiend gets the downlight after the neutral light, and they're continuing to make sure that Wess has no weapons to play with. Double at neutral light. He DI'd straight up. That's great. That's survival DI and a half. Wess really making the stock count.
It's that side air that's interrupting the recovery from Use.
Oh,
just went for the one piece.
Yeah, only the opener. You're never going to be knocking out with that. Falling side air, gets the recovery. Fiend just barely survives. Oh, down air.
Oh, the turnaround.
Down air, yeah.
Wow, he ended up getting the KO with that as well.
Huge.
Now Fiend is the one dominating. I feel like we're going to see the exact same graph that we saw on Wess. It's over. Wess and Power were ready to be done with that game.
Yeah.
Use. Tazaraki, 665 damage coming out from Use on that one, showing why he's still on this Jaehyun.
Yeah, no, it's getting better and better. And at this moment, I don't even blame Wess, right, for just jumping right off the stage. If you're up against Fiend and Use and it's 4 stocks to 1, why spend the 30 seconds?
Yep.
That can save you a lot of time, especially if you're at match point in the way that Wess and Power are, where it's like, if I can spend 30 seconds just getting right into the next game and not have to go through the mental anguish of trying to salvage a game that's nearly unwinnable, go right into the next one. And here we are into Apocalypse, where Fiend and Use have brought it to a game 5 in a really spectacular fashion. I mean, that was a 4-stock Sparky.
See if they can turn this one around. We are in the elimination bracket, of course, so a loss here sends these players packing. These are both top 3 potential teams.
Yeah.
One of them is going to be stuck, tied for 5th, alongside the loser of Ian and Vim Tequila versus Lily and Junaror.
Yeah, yes. Will Wess and Power have an opportunity for that rematch against the team that knocked them this early on to the elimination bracket? Or will they go down to Fiend and Use here for 5th? We are about to find out as Wess uses that recovery to really trick Fiend, makes it back to the stage with the inherent momentum of the side air on that weapon.
Also, the recovery from Use's greatsword came in, and that gave Fiend the room that he needed. He was in sweat beads. He didn't have too much to avoid, and I can't remember which blue team member was coming in. It might have been Power, but it could have been Wess. Was coming in to punish that landing, but the recovery from Use really gave Fiend a lot of room to play with.
Wess goes down. Power also on 2 stocks. Fiend cleaned up. Can they get Use here as well? Down, Sig tries to get a jump in,
He's
but
staying
Use,
away.
Yeah, Use was like, Fiend, I need you to pick up a weapon before I do anything. And Fiend certainly does. Now Use going right back in, gets hit by the side air. All right, he comes back, and Fiend is making sure that he has a safe time getting back as well.
Use is going to be without a weapon. Spawn comes in onto the soft platform, picks it up almost immediately. A little bit of team damage coming out, but the blue team's not able to capitalize on it.
Power goes in for the ground pound. Goes for the sidelight opener to Dare. Recovery will take him down, and Fiend gets a sidelight nair, and he's out of there. Power and Wess both looking for a combo starter here, and Power, fiending for it so much that he ends up hitting Wess.
Fiend is still putting out so much damage on the Power. Unfortunately, he's going to drop the D-Light into the side air.
Yeah.
Didn't get the jump that he needed to get high enough to find the side air off of Power there.
Yu's still relatively healthy, but this is a tough game state here where if Fiend goes down early enough, I do not feel like Yu's health at this point. Okay, it's Power might as well be in the lead, right? This is a dead even game. Sarah comes through, Fiend barely survives. Pocket sand thrown out, and he gets punished for it. Now it might be Fiend's turn. Recovery hits, stuffed recovery. Fiend ground pounds back to the stage. He ground pounds, stops the ground pound, clings to the wall. Sarah through Yu's to take down Fiend, and once again, Wess dominating here in Game 5, Sparky. This could be it for Fiend and Yu's.
Fiend's going to be without a weapon.
He stops it. That's the risk. That's the risk of that side sig.
Yeah, you have that like jump and then the stomp there.
It is a long time. Like I said, you're summoning a boulder just so that you could stall your opponents by cracking through it with your sword. Weapon throw comes forward.
Dodge is gone.
Fiend gets it. All right, this is as close as of a Game 5 scenario as we can get. Wess, Power Ranger, Fiend, Yu's, all one stock. Yu's at risk of going down to an early side sig from either player here, but still a little bit more damage can be taken. Fiend gets hit back. Let's see what happens here. Down air. Gets started. The neutral light. Wess! I think he thought that the red team was going to jump in to punish that, and he was getting ready to preemptively Sarah it. But, I mean, that's twice now that he's Sarah right into Power Ranger's face.
If he was able to pick up an opponent and his teammate, he's out on top of that trade. Because Fiend and Yu's are so far behind right now, they're getting deep into the red. Fiend is definitely already in the red. Yu's will be there shortly.
Oh, and Fiend gets poked out of the way. The gravity gets a side six Sparky and hits him, and Fiend is not the one that goes down first. It's his teammate. And now in this 1v2, Fiend fighting for his tournament life, gets one down light, picks up the spear, but he's Sared, and that's game. Wess and Power win game number 5. Last stock scenario over Fiend and Yu's to move on into top 4 here in the South America Winter Championship.
Going into that, I really thought Fiend and Yu's were going to be the ones to take that out heavy-handedly. I thought there was going to be, you know, like we talked about, a return to form for Wess and Power from running the South American 2v2s. But, of course, I put them in third. I really thought those top 2 were all but guaranteed to be Kaina Lores and Fiend and Yu's. But Wess and Power are here to shut that down, say that they're back in a big way.
Yeah, and they're back in poised to have that rematch potentially. This matchup that we got coming up next, I mean, we're looking at the damage charts here, and we can really see Yu's had a rough time on that second stock, whereas Fiend, I mean, that's as close as to, like, exact, like, like if you have an HP bar in a video game.
I feel like they just copy-pasted that.
No, yeah, this is like, yeah, I have 100 HP per stock.
These two almost look copy-pasted as well. This second stock especially.
Power,
if you look at it for just a second.
an odd amount of time